All right, 104.8 across the UAE. This is Channel 4 with me, Saif and Sound. We're also streaming online, of course, channel4fm.com. All right, so I've got a very special guest in the building today. I'm sure you've seen some of his videos on the internet in the past year or two. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a big round of applause for Khalid.
Thank you so much.
Ameri, man.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here.
Welcome.
Thank you so much.
How was the drive here?
Yeah, it was good, man. It's good to see all the parts of the UAE in one go. But
now, you know what? I initially thought that I was the busiest person in the UAE, okay? Because I'm always, out and about doing radio, DJing, hosting events and blah, blah, blah. But then when I started, following you around on social media, watching your videos, I was like, I've got some challenge. I've got some competition going on here, man. You've been busy, especially like this year, 2018. It's been a pretty busy year for you, right?
Yeah, it's been a great year, alhamdulillah. I made a decision in November 16th of last year to make a video every day. Every single day, no matter what.
Wow.
Whether I'm traveling, whether I'm stuck at home, whether I'm sick. So, when you have that commitment to produce and create every single day, you're going to be busy by default. And that's just on the video side. That's not including, doing some live shows. That's not including, the priorities in my life, like my family, like my wife, like my relationship, like my kids. So yeah, man, I committed to that and it's kept me incredibly busy. It has been, as they say, the best decision I ever made. Because it's helped me grow as a creator. It's helped me grow on the platforms. It's helped me, tell stories and that I feel have a strong impact on this part of the world. And, brother, when you say that you're busy too, man, there is no competition here. We're all trying to do something, get the stories out there, hustle, grind, try to provide for ourselves, provide for our families. And I always say in this world, if you work hard enough, there's enough room for everyone to eat.
That's true.
And we all got to help each other to grow. I wouldn't be where I am today without the help of other people. It took a lot of dedication from me to commit to making a video every single day. But it was a lot of people, my wife, team, like people like Danny and the guys, to come on and help me and support me, to allow me to do the things that I want to do. But it's been the best decision I ever made, but it's been the hardest one.
You know what I want to know, and I'm sure this is the question on everybody's mind, is that how did you get into this whole thing, right? Was it something that's been in your mind for years and you were just waiting for the right opportunity, for the right time to kind of initiate this whole process? Or is it just something that striked all of a sudden and you were like, you know what, I want to start doing videos?
No, man. Since I was a kid, I always wanted to be an actor.
Right.
Like my heroes growing up were like Ace Ventura, Pet Detective, Jim Carrey and Robin Williams. So I always wanted to be an actor. I always believed in the power of, telling stories, because when I had a bad day at school, I'd come back, I'd turn on Ace Ventura or, Robin Williams and Mrs. Doubtfire, and it'd make me happy. So those guys were my heroes. And I always believed in the power of telling stories. So when I wanted to go to acting school, my dad's like, okay, I got a great act that you can do. I'll be like, yeah, what's up, Dad? He's like, why don't you act like you're getting your 4-year engineering degree?
Typical Arab.
So I went there, I did that, and then I went about my life, sitting in a cubicle doing finance strategy. Then I got an opportunity
in the UAE?
Here in the UAE.
Right. Which university was it?
I went to Northumbria for undergrad and Stanford for graduate school.
Right, okay.
So when I came back, so I basically worked as an account, as like strategy and finance. And then I got an opportunity when I came back from Stanford for my master's to do a show on CNN.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So I did a 4-part series in Ramadan with Becky Anderson. And I thought we killed it. We did a great job. It was my first opportunity. I loved it because I was a print journalist for The National. I was a columnist there. I'll be writing.
Cool.
But I always wanted to be on the TV. I always wanted to bring those stories to life, because when you see it, it just, you connect with it.
I know,
sometimes even more than the words. So after that, I thought, CNN would probably give me a job, because I had to quit my day job to do this 1-month opportunity. It was like it was an opportunity of a lifetime. So I thought I was going to get a job from CNN, and nothing came through. so
after 1 month.
After 1 month, I thought it was enough to prove it. Then I was just like, well, I had the formula, all right? At that time, there isn't really any English content or any content about our region to the expat audience or to the international audience about who we are and what we do. You rely on Western media, you rely on the stories of others. But there wasn't really much happening from us in terms of TV and video.
Right.
So what I decided is like I had the formula, people liked it. So I decided to do it on my own, and now that's when I started partnering with Facebook. Shout out to Sara Buzahra, who manages the creators there. She gave me the opportunity. She gave me the full backing of Facebook to support me, and that's when I said, okay, I'm gonna go all in on this because I had no choice, bro. All right, like I didn't have a job.
Quit your job.
I quit my job, so I had to go all in on this, right? And I believe that if I put in the work, because the model with the CNN already showed that people engage with that content, I thought, okay, let me do it by myself. And we started that page a year ago. We had about 100,000, and now we just crossed 1.8 million in a year.
Wow, this is crazy, man. 1.8 million.
Yeah, on Facebook.
This is insane, man. Congratulations.
Thank you so much,
But
man.
you know what? This is a great example that, some people might not necessarily believe in you, if you know what I mean. Some people might or maybe, how this system works. Sometimes there are a lot of protocols that they have to follow, and, you're the intern. So they don't really shed the light on you. They shed the light on the big guys.
Of course.
And that's why maybe they didn't see that passion that you've wanted to make videos. You want to entertain the people, you want to educate the people, but you personally thought, you know what, I think I have it in me, and I believe in myself. And I always tell people that if nobody in the world believes in you, you should at least believe in yourself. Because if you do, that's when you can create masses and destroy the world, if you know what I mean, and create some noise.
I love it.
But you know what, you were just saying that you went to school in Stanford.
Yeah.
This is huge.
Yeah,
this is like a pretty big school. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm guessing you were a nerd, because in order for you to get into that school, you need to have like a high GPA type of thing.
Yeah, I think they let me in by mistake, bro. No, alhamdulillah, man. I think I had done a lot. See, schools like that, academics is something that comes natural when you go to a school like that, but it's also what you do beyond school. So I had done a lot in the community in terms of like events. I had done a lot of print journalism and, trying to get myself out in terms of my thoughts and stuff. So I think they saw a lot of that because, my grades weren't I was like an average student, man.
Okay.
But like I worked really hard on terms of like the things that I wanted to do in my life, and they were beyond my day-to-day job and beyond my day-to-day school. So I think I always consider myself the lucky guy that got in. But it was one of the greatest periods of my life in terms of professional growth, because places like Stanford, what they do is, you got to stay with me for a second. What these places do is they break you down in every way, shape, or form. But then they build you up into this person that you always wanted to be. Because in those type of situations, you're challenged every single day, Saif. Every single day. You're sitting in an uncomfortable situation, surrounded by people who are smarter than you, who are better than you, and you just have to find your place. And one thing I realized about that is, if I'm trying to challenge people where they're strong, I'm always going to be second. I'm always going to be third. Where I felt that I shined was as a creator, was as a storyteller. So a lot of my classes at Stanford, beyond the business that we learned, was in the digital school, was in the journalism school, was a lot about entertainment and Hollywood and sort of the business around that. So it allowed me to sort of, when it broke me down, I realized that the best way to build myself up is into who I truly am. And to not try and challenge. A lot of people, when you talk about challenging each other or competition, man, you're always focusing on people that you might not compare yourself to directly, or you don't know what they've gone through, or you're trying to fight a battle that shouldn't even be fought, or you're trying to fight them in their arena where you're already, not comfortable. So for me, it was always about, when I was building myself back up at that time at Stanford, it was into who I wanted to be. And that was a storyteller, that was a creator, and that was a risk taker. And, the CNN opportunity came about 6 months after my time at Stanford. And that's when I said to myself, okay, I've built myself into who I want to be. Here's the chance to bring it to life.
Right, yeah.
And if I don't take that chance, then my wife said to me, she's like, look, if you don't take this opportunity, that's fine, but don't complain anymore. You're an office guy, a 9-to-5 guy, that's who you are. Because an opportunity has come to you, you've done everything to get to this opportunity. And then I took it.
And the rest has been history.
The rest is history, bro.
But you're a great storyteller. I mean, I can relate a lot. Being in the media, being in this industry, I'm a presenter myself, and I am some sort of a storyteller, if you know what I mean. When I'm on the radio, but you do take me from point A to B very smoothly, if you know what I mean. Yep. And then after watching these videos, it kind of makes me go like, okay, you know what? Yeah. What's the process like when choosing your topics, the topics that you cover in your videos?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the topics, So for me, it's just, I start at the very core of who we are as people in this region.
Right.
There's a lot of things that we assume people know that they don't know. All right. Like, for example, the black agal that we wear on our head. The history of that.
Right, yeah, yeah.
No one knows where it came from. So what my idea is let's go out and ask people, expats, what they think this black thing was used for before it was on our head. See, to me and you and to a lot of people in the studio, it would be like, man, we know what that is. I'm like, no, a lot of people don't. And that video did over 1 million views.
Wow.
Another thing where people say, is it allowed, like I'll get questions on my Facebook page, what happens if someone celebrates Christmas in the UAE? Like, will something happen to them? I'm like, oh, here we go. All right. So I go out and make a video showing the churches, showing Christmas in the UAE. And that video goes out there. The thing is we have so many amazing stories in the UAE. But I just feel that in terms of English content and mainstream media, we're not doing enough to reach those stories to people. So what happens is the narrative that they have is still the same. They get their news off the negative news, the violence, the all these negative stories they have. That's their impression. And unless we do something about it and tackle things from the very simplistic stories, then it's always going to stay the same. So for me, I try and bring these stories through in an entertaining way. I try and bring them through in a funny way. And I try and tackle every small thing until we get to the big stuff. I'm still at the small stuff. I'm telling people what agal is. I'm telling people why we dress in white or why Salama wears black, my wife. All these things that they just no one's ever told them. And it only takes a minute to explain it. My videos are only a minute or two. And that's all it takes. So for me, it's going through all the things that I was asked during my time in the States, growing up here. The things that you still get asked by expats who have lived here for 15 years. Because if you look at a lot of my videos, when I ask people these questions about what's this black agal on our head, a lot of them have been here for 15 years and never thought about it.
Right, yeah.
But then it's like, wow, I learned something new today.
I mean, I was born and raised here, and I kid you not, I have no idea where it originally came from, if you know what I mean.
To me, and the thing about it is, and I'll be honest, a lot of the times I don't either, bro. Like, because we just don't think about it, because we grew up with it. It just came to us. Like, where does a shawarma come from? I don't know, Khalidiyya. We don't think because we got it as a kid that we just grew up, So for a lot of the things, it challenges me as a storyteller, and it challenges me in terms of the research that I have to do to share a story that's so deep in history and so long, and to try and bring that down to a digestible format for a lot of people. That's one side, but also the other side is the reactive stuff. So, for example, I'll see something, British journalists or these newspapers in the UK will tell a story about Dubai or something that's happened that's supposed to be negative, but it's not really, but they ran with it. So for an example, that woman that they said got arrested for drinking a glass of wine on the flight. Remember that story?
Yeah.
I was like, hold on, that's no. But because they're the only one telling the story, everyone's like, okay, then why don't you guys? So I'm like, okay, I'm going to say something about this.
Of course, you have your opinion.
I have my opinion. First of all, there was a lot of different things that happened. She was quoted as being rude, as taking pictures of people in the airport and taking pictures of security that wasn't covered. Now, think about it, Saif. If I was in an airport in London Heathrow and I started taking pictures of the security guard or the what do you call him, the immigration officer, where do you think I'd be right now? Not here.
Yeah, definitely not. You would be in the UK, but not in the best part.
Not in the best part. But see, these are the things that, so a lot of the times I'll be like, no, I need to correct that. No, the full story is not being told, and it's always to create this negative narrative. But now I feel that we need other voices, yours, mine, other people, to stand up and be like, hold on a second. Just because they print it and were quick with it and didn't include all the facts doesn't make them right. All right, that we also have to have that voice. So a lot of the stuff that I do is to some point reactive to the things that I see that we're not saying enough of.
And you know what? This is the whole point of social media. I mean, the presence of social media has allowed people like you and a lot of other people in the world to kind of express their opinion. And that's why back in the days, the only source of information was either TV, radio, and these guys could manipulate the information, and they could take you places, imaginary places, if you know what I mean. That doesn't really exist, and the truth is nowhere to be found in that place where they're going to take you to. However, social media has allowed people like you to be like, hey, hold on a second, you know what I mean? This is not true. The truth is 1, 2, and 3. And going back to to your video about celebrating Christmas in this part of the world. You know what? This is great because after you've done that video, it was announced that next year, 2019, is going to be the year of tolerance. And this is what's it all about. It's like you predicted what the leaders in the UAE are actually planning for, because the whole point of the year of tolerance is about, tolerating other religion, being a hub for so many nationalities. It's about tolerating other religions, other nationalities, other races, different age groups, just tolerating everybody. At the end of the day, we're human beings, and this is what's all about. It's all about coming together and working in this part of the world to make it to make yourself better and to make the country better, if you know what I mean.
Absolutely.
So it's really interesting for you to kind of predict and take that angle, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
What would you say? You've done a lot of videos in 2018. What would you say? Is I wouldn't say the best video, but the video that stood out for you personally the most?
Well, I've been honored to make a lot of videos about the different communities in the UAE. But I think for me, the video, and those meant a lot to me, to be able to shed light. Another one was the nanny video, where I went around giving the teddies to the best nannies in the UAE. See, videos like that where you recognize the people that deserve to be recognized, really, really sort of was an honor for me to do. It was just like an honor to be accepted into their lives and into their homes and into their communities. But I think the video that sort of stands out for me the most above them all is the video that I did on my son Abdullah, who has autism and the autism spectrum. I just believed that it was a video that was so important to me because it was a video that I wanted him to grow up and look back on and be proud. It is a video that took a huge toll on me emotionally. I literally couldn't pick a camera up for 5 days after that video.
I'm getting goosebumps as you speak.
Thanks, man. But it was like I had to stop filming like 2-3 times because it took its toll on me emotionally. Broke down by the end of it. But it was one of the videos that I wanted Abdullah to be able to see and look at me as a hero, as someone who was always proud of him, was always in his corner, was always supporting him, was always someone who believed that he could do anything that he wanted to do, regardless of what challenges life brought to him. And when you share a video like that, you open yourselves up to the world, right? You open yourselves up to opinions. You open yourselves up to judgment. You open yourself up to a lot of communities that haven't really gotten to a level of an ideology of inclusiveness in all ways, shapes, and forms. So I just wanted to put it out there that I was a father who's going to be proud of my sons no matter what, and that he has unique abilities rather than unique challenges. And I wanted it to be able to change the mindset of people and parents whose kids have grown up differently, rather than challenged. And it's a video that I'm always going to hold close to my heart. And it's a video that I hope that when Abdullah grows up, he looks at and he just gives me a big hug. And it's a video that I hope other parents see and share amongst themselves in schools and in communities and companies to be more inclusive in their institutions, to be more inclusive in their schools, to be more inclusive in the programs and sports and government initiatives and everything that we do. Because there are children and people here who are special, but they don't necessarily fit into the box that everyone has made for them. And it's important to take them into consideration because the value that they can bring to whatever it is you're doing is unbelievable, because they have a way of thinking that we don't, because we've already been set. Our brains have been set a certain way. We're the norm. But we're the norm, and they're able to think in a way that we're not, and we have to see the value in that. So for me, that is the video that I'm most proud of today, and I'll probably be most proud of for the rest of my life.
I mean, hats off for having the courage to actually go out there and publicize what you have been going through. And it's something, I personally think it's something to be proud of. And as you said, that your son is in few years time, when he grows up, he's going to hopefully watch that video if YouTube was still alive at that time, and be like, wow, you know what? I'm not an exception. I am part of this whole community.
Absolutely.
And I should be proud of who I am, and I should just maintain it and use it as an example as a wake-up call for everybody else out there who's going through the same thing, if you know what I mean.
Absolutely.
Would you allow, I mean, you're a family guy, right? Would you allow since you're using social media as a tool to kind of voice your opinion to masses, would you allow your children to use social media at a young age to kind of, just, mess about and, all of these silly videos, hoping that they would get the hang of it?
So for me, it's gotten to a point where like a lot my kids will know what, Sarama and I do.
Right.
Do
they?
Yeah, they know. Like the
fully aware.
Yeah.
Do they know that these guys, like you guys, are like celebrities?
Well, Khalifa's teachers and like his classmates and stuff will come and be like, "Oh, I saw your dad's video and your mom's video and stuff like that."
And they would just be like, "Okay, you got an A."
Yeah, no, man. I wish I'd work a lot harder for that, man. But no, I think they're aware of what we're doing, but I don't think they're aware of the responsibility that comes with it. And I do not want my kids to fall down a trap of using social media to just be silly in hopes for views, and to use social media as an escape plan from the real world and the real responsibilities. Because, I think, I'm pretty knowledgeable about the world of social media. We've got an awesome team that if Khalifa came tomorrow and said, I want to be big on social media, I think we have the resources and the tools to be able to help him grow.
Right.
But
in the right way.
But yeah, exactly. I want it to be in the right way, and I want it to be on his terms. So like I see a lot of family parents who really push their kids into this world where they don't necessarily want to be in, and you deprive them of a normal childhood to some extent. There are a lot of parents that do it right, but there are a lot of parents who don't. And for me, it's just I'd love it for the day that Khalifa said, I want to be a photographer. I want to be a video maker. I want to be okay, let's make you the right photographer.
Of course, it'll make you proud if you know
exactly.
what I mean.
I would love. I want him to be anything he wants to be. I want Abdullah to be anything they want to be, as long as they're going to be the hardest workers and passionate about what they do. But for me, if I understand the importance of social media for everything now, for business, for marketing, but I also see the downfalls of it.
Right.
Because, to be honest, when we ever look at social media, remember whenever you see those kids doing something crazy and it gets to your WhatsApp and stuff? Like, let's be honest here, right? 80% of the time we look at it and we're like, yeah, we did that. All right. But we didn't record it because we didn't have the tools and we didn't have the stuff. Right.
Right.
But I just feel that like they need to understand that that video that this 14-year-old took of them being crazy at a party, that follows them forever. That's on the internet forever. So it's very important for me that they understand the responsibility of social media before they get into sort of that journey. But for me, I'm always open to whatever it is they want to do.
Cool. Because you know what? It's funny that you say this, because until this day, probably, if I call my dad right now, the first question that he's going to ask me, when are you going to get a real job?
Every day.
For years, I kid you not. I mean, I was born and raised here. I'm originally from Jordan. For years, when I started on the radio about like 7 years ago, every time I speak to him on the phone, he's going to go like, so, when are you going to get a real job? I'm like, Dad, all right, here's a paycheck. Okay, cool. Now we're talking. Now we're talking, if you know what I mean. What's in the pipeline for Khalid in 2019? We need an exclusive, something big that you're working on.
Sure, man. I got a couple of things.
He's scratching his head. He's like, don't go there.
No, I mean, in terms of me, I'm always trying to think bigger.
Right.
I definitely want to continue the journey that I've had on Facebook, creating the videos that I want to create. I definitely want to do it's a dream of mine to have a sitcom, like a funny show about this part of the world. Okay. So I'm working on that, and I definitely want to do a movie in 2019.
Ooh!
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, at least I know it's not something. It's because I'm a creator. Like, you tell me an idea now, I'm gonna go out and film.
Okay.
So I know, like, I need to discipline myself in terms of timing, but a movie, to get a movie started within 2019. And get that rolling as a project these are my two goals.
Cool.
For sure.
We were talking about work ethic competition earlier on the show, and everybody in the office complains about how talkative I am, and I just found someone who I can relate to.
Because you're a radio host.
Yeah, but the thing is that I'm a very talkative guy. I'm like blah blah blah. I go into details, and I'm very passionate about everything I say.
It's good.
And you know what? Now that you're talking, I was like, oh, I found a friend
Bless
that
you,
I
man.
can actually talk to.
Of course.
Because I could literally do this for like 2 hours, and we could talk about social media. We could talk about everything. We could talk about family. We could talk about music. By the way, speaking of music, since we are a radio station, do you really listen to like?
Yeah. I like
stations?
music. I like radio stations.
I'm hoping that you like music.
Yeah, I like music. Yeah, I like radio. I listen to the radio.
What's your favorite song right now? Let me put you on the spot.
Oh, my favorite song? Man, I gotta think about
something new, 2018.
I don't really have a specific song that I like, man. I got like artists that I listen to regularly.
Like?
I like Tory Lanez.
That's a DJ answer, by the way. That's a DJ answer.
Oh, is it? Yeah.
I don't have a favorite song.
No, I don't have a favorite song or a favorite like genre. I've just been a mix. Like I like J. Cole, I like Tory Lanez, I like Kehlani.
Oh, okay.
I listened to her album back to front all of when we drove down California. She's brilliant artist.
Amazing.
I like Bruno Mars is always a classic. I like different genres. I'm like old school Green Day sometimes.
Okay.
Bob Marley's always been one of my favorites.
Okay,
grew up to that guy.
That's interesting though. Because when people watch your videos, they would think that you're like a very traditional type of guy. I mean, the stuff that you talk about are very current, of course. But I don't know why I had this idea in my head personally that you wouldn't listen to this type of music.
Oh no! I believe I love all types of arts, man. I think, but again, I like to listen to music with a purpose, right? I like to listen to either it needs to be something soulful or it needs to have a strong message, So that's why I love listening to the messages of like J. Cole,
right?
Old school Tupac.
Hey.
They're just really like a lot of people like I see the poetry in the words that they're saying. And I just love it, and I love it because back then I feel music had like a purpose. It had a mission. It had a goal, right? It had a message to deliver to you to sort of when they say people are woke now, they were trying to awaken people every single day through their music. Whereas now it's challenging.
Hey,
to
what
find
are you talking
that.
about? Migos? They have a message. No, I'm just kidding.
Bad and bougie.
Bad and bougie. Exactly. That's the message. All right. I'm not going to leave you here forever because I know you're a busy man. You've got a lot to do. You've got a lot on your plate. But what would your advice be? Someone who's listening to the radio right now, not necessarily a creator, just anybody who's listening right now. They want to follow their dreams. They've been through a lot of rough times in their life. They want to stand back on their feet. What is your advice to them? Because you've gone through a similar situation, I would say somehow.
Yeah. I mean, look, for me, it's everything for me begins and ends with the work. All right? Like, I feel anyone who works hard enough, all right, and is dedicated every single day, no days off, every single day, to whatever it is they want to do, whether it's become an artist, become an accountant, become a dancer, become a filmmaker, if they dedicate every single day, no days off, all right, because that's what I did, all right. Now, I'm not saying it's the best way, but I'm saying it is a way. And for me, people make resolutions. The new year is not going to help. A change in a number is not going to help. It is what you dedicate yourself to do every single day. So, for example, you want to get in shape. Yahi, every single day, run for half an hour. Every single day, don't drink Coke. For me, it was I want to be the best creator I can be. So what I need to do that, I need to challenge myself. I will make a video every single day, whether I am sick. I've been in the plane recording a video, editing when I land in the airport, using the Wi-Fi at the hotel. That is just, like complete tunnel vision towards your goal. All right? Don't complain about anything. All right? Because I could sit there and complain, I'm traveling, I can't make a video. But when, khalas, then it becomes second nature. That I have to create a video. So you're able to find the time. You're able to create and you're able to do it. So for anyone who's trying to do anything in their life, I would say, what are you willing to sacrifice so that you can dedicate every single day to making whatever dream, whatever goal you have a reality? Because it's not by chance that people like The Rock are the most successful people in the world, and all he talks about every day on his Instagram is his work ethic. It's not a coincidence that, you know, players like Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, and LeBron James are the best in the world. They're the strongest and hardest workers in the room. It's no chance that Oprah's done what she's done because she's just been chilled out and sitting back and be like, yeah, you know, it'll happen to me. No. She worked her butt off.
But even when she was like super successful, that's the thing that people need to understand. Even when she was super successful, she was milking it. Like, she was making so much money. She was like on her case, like fully dedicated to doing what she does for living. And she was like, I'm never gonna stop. And the day she decided to stop is the day that, you know what, she's done enough. She's contributed enough to the whole world and not just the people around her, where she was like, okay, you know what? I deserve a break now.
Absolutely.
But she's worked for like how many years? Like 30, 40 years nonstop. And as you said, dedicated her whole life and sacrificed everything for this job.
People don't think about the sacrifice part, bro. And they don't think about it enough. Like, you know, when I think about sacrifice, I think like, you know, sacrifice time with family, sacrifice time with, sacrifice my health. Like, I don't go to the gym as much as I should. Sacrifice, you know, time at home. But I had a goal. That I spoke to the family, be like, look, I need to do this. I have nothing else. This has to work.
And this is for them.
It is for them. Like, and it is for them. And the only thing is, and it's crazy, man. Like, when I hit 1 million on the page, everyone's like, what are you gonna do to celebrate? What are you gonna do? I'm like, I'm making a video.
Yeah.
I had to make a video that day. And you know, when I look back at it, you know, sometimes I think about like, you know, like, when is enough? Like, when that's the thing that I'm looking at these guys for answers, because for me, I don't know. And for The Rock, when is enough? The guy doesn't stop. LeBron James, when is enough? You know, I mean, Oprah answered that question for us, but a lot of these guys are still going, and a lot of these women are still going. And I'm just trying to wait for that sort of, because I've watched them all. I've read enough books to see sort of like, okay, that's the path to success. Now, the thing for me is having that, like, stop imagining what success is going to look like. Like, if I started, all right, making this Facebook album, I'm going to be a movie star in 1 year, and I don't get a movie star in 1 year, I'm bummed out.
Yeah.
But having 1 million people on my page or 2 million people on my page, that's great. That's
a great
more
start.
than I ever wanted.
Yeah.
So work hard, all right, and be open for every opportunity. And remember, success doesn't always come in the way that you want it, but that doesn't mean success isn't going to find you.
That's a great way to end the interview, I guess.
Thank you, boss.
I'm not gonna let you go. We're gonna do this like speed round where I'm gonna throw in 60 seconds. We're gonna try and answer as many questions as possible. But you've got a second to answer each question. I want you to go like
Intuition.
boom, 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 boom. You might get in trouble with some of the questions, but hey,
okay,
this is recorded, so we can always be like, oh,
nice.
Okay, cool.
Edit
This is
it
a
out.
bit dodgy. Okay.
I love it. Thank
cool?
you. Let's
You
go.
ready? Let's make it happen. 60 seconds on the clock starts right now. What's your favorite food?
Pizza.
If they made a movie about you, who would you like to play you?
The Rock.
If you could be an animal for one day, what would it be?
Lion.
If you were a superhero, what would your superhero be? Quick.
Batman.
Name one thing you must do every day.
Make a video.
Name one thing that you can't live without.
My family.
Favorite genre of music.
Hip hop.
What song do you usually sing in the shower?
I Will Always Love You by Whitney. I'm just kidding.
Favorite sport.
Boxing.
What's a guilty pleasure of yours?
Cake.
What are you most proud of?
My family.
And what advice would you give your 15-year-old self?
Don't be scared.
Hey, you've done it in 45 seconds.
Wow, all right.
All right, that was good. Khalid, listen, man, it's an absolute pleasure. I've been watching your videos for the past, I wouldn't lie, for the past year. I've scrolled through your Instagram page, though, and I've seen one of the very first pictures that you posted. I'm like, this guy was just a normal dude.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, just hanging out with his family and friends and sharing some of his memories on Instagram. And all of a sudden, boom, you're like a celebrity, man.
Alhamdulillah.
But thank you so much for being here.
Thanks
I really
for having
appreciate
me,
it. And
brother.
I hope that we can do this,
I would love to, man.
quite often. You know,
Yeah,
every
man.
now and then pop in. This is your home now.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it.